motivating words for the present members of Vivekananda Study Circle. Regarding today's topic, Vivekananda's vision of rebuilding India. Vivekananda Study Circle also have the guiding mantra for Vivekananda Study Circle is nation building through character building and man making. So we believe that the strength of character, strength of man will definitely reflect into the country's prosperity and country's strength. Swamiji mentioned, Swamiji's quote, "Let us all work hard, my brethren. There's no time for sleep. On our work depends the coming of the India of the future. She is there ready waiting. She is only sleeping. Arise and awake and see her seated here on her eternal throne, regenerated, more glorious than she ever was, this motherland of ours." Now, our next today's speaker is Shri Ramesh Umarani ji. I'd like to introduce him. Shri Ramesh Umarani ji is a corporate trainer in Aviva Life Insurance, a UK-based company. He is heading Karnataka and Kerala state in training department based out of Bangalore. He is also a LIMRA certified facilitator from USA. He has 20 years of professional experience in pharma and insurance industry. Inspired by Swami Vivekananda's teaching, he has delivered more than 400 motivational and inspiring programs to strengthen value system among youths. To his credit, he has delivered couples of programs to teachers on their role and responsibility in nation building. Being a corporate trainer, he trains Aviva company employees across India on soft skills and leadership qualities. Through Ramakrishna Math, he has delivered personality program at various levels of students and professionals. He has visited UAE and Oman countries on performance to receive awards. Now, I request Sri Ramesh Umarani ji to share his thoughts on Vivekananda's vision of rebuilding India.
जननीं शारदं देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोश्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। My humble pranams at the feet of Revered Swami Atmasthananda ji, respected Professor Prabhu, Professor Balaji, a couple of other teaching staff, and my young friends. This is my 31st program in the month of January, traveling across the country on the eve of the great prophet Swami Vivekananda to convey his message to the youths. I was really thrilled when the Swamiji called me and invited me for this particular program. And secondly, I discovered this monk is from Karnataka. I had access to speak in my language. It made me little comfort because IIT students means outside world are scared in one way. So I thought if something is there, I'm going to be protected by this particular monk. Friends, Swami Vivekananda says, my faith is in younger generation. My faith is in modern generation. Out of them will come my workers and they will work out the whole problems like lions. Which has remained more or less still as a statement, apart from to a certain extent we have been progressed. Just a week back, along with another monk, a senior monk, I was addressing the scientists and the defense unit, not to name. Two things from that particular program I would like to highlight here. The director is addressing his colleagues, and the statement is, I request each one of you to please justify your salaries. This is talking to the scientists. And the second thing I would like to highlight is when my monk, Revered monk, was addressing the group, Swamiji asked, what is that you all look forward? What is that you all want? Then The uniform echo is we want peace of mind. I was just sitting there and I was thinking how different this particular intellectual group, this particular group who are financially sound, where they don't have any kind of tensions with respect to their income pattern or security of job or anything. They are just as any other common human being. I think here, rightly, I recall the statement of our people president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who says, every educational institution need to have a spiritual center into it. For what? To develop the nobility in the leadership. My dear friends, leadership is in terms of just the position, but in absence of nobility, that doesn't have any meaning. So largely throughout in every field we are seeing, we have the leaders, but greatly we are lacking this particular quality called as nobility in the leadership. I am basically into giving an induction program to all the company employees who join my organization. On an average, in a month, we will have one program centrally organized in the south, sometimes Chennai, Hyderabad, sometimes in Bangalore. And I'll be traveling across the country and delivering the programs. I would like to give you some inputs. Why? Because future, most of you are going to be employed at one or the other places. 30% of the, out of 100, 30 people will lose the job by the end of the first month or by taking the first month's salary. I'm not saying anything, they are being thrown out. It's not just they are losing the job. Next question comes, did we hire the right kind of people, HR point of view? Yes, we have hired the people from the reputed institutes and the people who have, 80% and above. All the necessary academics which are supposed to be in the place are there, but yet these people, okay. And by the end of the year, 365 days, out of the first 100 guys, only 30 people will continue the job. It throws a light that, basically today's youths are somewhere missing, to be employed in a better company, and in order to get a rewards or a recognition from an organization, they need to give first contribution from their end to that particular organization, prove themselves, and then expect something. And for 3-4 companies, once the guy changes, keeps on changing the job like this, he becomes a rolling stone and he will never stick anywhere. So essentially, we need to understand today's youths, we find they are highly competent in terms of their marks and other certificates, but when it comes to rest of the parameters, there is a lot of gap. So today, essentially, I would like to create a curiosity and more interest to each one of you to read Swamiji's life. Why? Because whatever today I am, I have achieved my distinction qualifications or various, professional qualifications. I owe my success not to any of these things, just other than the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, which has made me to have a proper attitude and grow. I come from a smaller district place of northern Karnataka, and to my fortunate, I came to a wonderful place called as Dharwad, which is a university place in North Karnataka, where the Karnataka University is being based. And to my fortune, I had attended one of the important, youth convention where one of the revered monk all the way from Bangalore had traveled. I was just in my second PU, 12th standard, and that was a turning day for me, my dear friends. And then later on, we started the study circle, and as my friend was communicating the impact of the study circle continued throughout till the completion of our student life, and the people, wherever they are there, irrespective of the professions, they are doing extremely well in 3 parameters. 1, personal life. Second, professional life. And most important, third thing, which most of you might not have dreamt, or being in Vivekananda study circle, you may be knowing, the third thing is the social life. Today, each one of us, if you ask, we have a personal life. Okay, you get job, you get married, you beget children, okay, you have your all the luxuries, okay. Then the professional life, today we don't know, there is no differentiation between office and home because of the technology, because of the laptop, because of the internet. 24/7 I'm working. Even though I'm on leave, I'm supposed to do my work. Late night when I return, I have to do my job. Why? Because I'm connected, though not physically to the office, but in the other way. So out of these 3 things, the third thing is very, very important according to me. Personal life, none need to teach you. Professional life, none need to teach you. You know how to grow, how to climb the ladder. Each one of you will do. But I am finding the wherever the individuals are lacking this social responsibility, and all these people suffer in one or the other way for the simple reason they accomplish what all the small things that they are there within short span of their life, and they don't know what is for the rest of the life they need to do. That's the reason there is a wonderful statement. Lot of ordinary people become heroes when they have a great task or purpose in their life. Because today's youths, once they come into the job, they are so purposeless. Why? Because money you will earn within a short time. All the comforts will come in a short time, and the career growth. You know, in my own organization, I have, you know, my CEO is hardly 42 years old. He has reached a CEO stage. But the rest of the thing is what? This is professional happened. But lack of the ideals and the lack of the purposes, you know, will bring a dryness in the life, and it's very, very difficult. Now, again, in between, I'll come to a little bit of Swami Vivekananda and how it has impacted me and how it has made my life healthier. I would like to just speak with respect to my life. In my own organization, there is so much of pressure. No guy will leave the office, you know, or reach the home before 10 p.m., where morning around 9 o'clock we are there in the office. And tremendous work pressure, but a lot of people keep asking me, Ramesh, we are not even able to manage our own job, but how is that you do your job? And I rank the top in my organization. This is the 6th year. In no way I'm in second as compared to any of the things. Never I fall deficit of any things that which is there on my delegation. And secondly, they'll ask, how is that you manage so many things you do, so many youth conventions you attend, so many places you travel and all. How is that you do? I say, you know, one of my Swamiji used to say, if there is a guy who is able to do 108 things in a day, you give him one more additional job, 109th, still he will accomplish. And there will be another guy who is not able to do a single work in a day properly, and if you assign him one work, he'll say, I don't have time, or I can't do it. So there is a multitasking which is being required, which grows as our efficiency grows. Okay. Now, all of you would have heard how the transformation, if you come in touch of Swami Vivekananda, I would like to highlight a few of the incidences. I'm sure each one of you would have heard about a Rockefeller Institution, which is the biggest charitable trust in the whole of the world. This Rockefeller, after coming in touch with Swami Vivekananda, and when he got transformed for the rest of his life, he says, there is more to the life than accumulation of the money. There is more to the life than accumulation of the money. We are only the trustees for the power and the money. And to misuse this power and money is the greatest sin. The best way to prepare for the end of our life is to lead a life to live for others. And that is what I am trying to do. Just you can see what a transformation from an individual just after coming to Swami Vivekananda, and he makes this particular statement. That's where Swami Vivekananda's teaching comes when he writes this wonderful letter to Maharaja of Mysore. Oh Maharaja, this life is short. The vanities of the world are transient. They alone live who live for others. Rest are more dead than alive. What a message in this. I repeat. O Maharaja, this life is short. The vanities of the world are transient. They alone live who live for others. Rest are more dead than alive. So somewhere we have to bring in this particular social life that I need to live beyond my personal and professional to someone, and that is nothing but the nation. Beyond nation there cannot be anything. Similarly, you find it in a life of Anna Hazare, who was an ordinary truck driver in an army, who was being disgusted, by losing all his near and dear colleagues in the war. And when he was sitting on a railway station, each one of you know this story, that he was just thinking how to suicide, how to end his life. He read a small book, and such particular statement made a vast difference, and he decided to leave. He just didn't leave, and we are seeing that just we are comparing him that he is just next Mahatma Gandhi. We are seeing in front of us. Now question comes, my dear friends, are we really getting education, or are we just getting only day by day qualified? In true sense, if you ask me, every day we are getting higher and higher qualification, not necessarily educated. Why? Because education and qualification are two different things. And if you see from an Anna Hazare perspective, he is hardly 7th standard. He has more education, or we have more education. So we need to understand education from an Vivekananda perspective. Then only we can lead a better life. A lot of youths comes to us, I am into various faculties. Lot of youths comes us disgusted in this life. Can you believe, other day in a small town, a 12th standard girl comes to me and she says after the program, just I was outside, sir, can I speak to you for a minute? I said, yeah, you can speak to me, my child. What's that you want? Sir, I want, sir, I have become desperate in my life and I have lost all interest in my life. I have nothing feeling within me that I need to live a life. I am disgusted. I said, hardly not even 18 years. Just you understand the education system that it is being providing, nothing man-making, nothing, a zeal to make us to live. Just we are studying, we are securing the good marks and we are going. And this dryness is going to take us in a different way. That's the reason Swami Vivekananda gives this wonderful quote, what is the education? Education is the manifestation of perfection which already exists within us. Within us, we each one of us are perfect in one or the other form. And this has to be just expressed, the manifestation. Through this education system, it should help us. Otherwise, that doesn't have any meaning. And most importantly, again, he says, what kind of education we need? We need that education by which character is formed. The strength of the mind increases. Our intellectuality expands and should enable us to stand on our own feet. Trust me, this is one statement in my PUC made me not to pay capitation and enter medical. I got a medical seat, just little less marks, and my dad decided to pay a capitation and put me for medical. And this was going on in our mind. So whosoever studies Vivekananda, thoroughly, you will become mad in one or the other way, but you become a mad to lead a lot of right people, not mad people. So I started thinking, if I myself accept, then I promised my dad I'll do very well in my BSc, then through CBZ combination, I'll get into the medical. I did well. Why? Because my previous batch, people on zoology, botany, chemistry combination, they got a medical seat in a general merit at a percentage of 68. And somewhere I could manage to end up with 72.5 percentage. And alas, for that year, the competition went to 75 percentage. Thanks, my Lord, that I couldn't become a doctor. Otherwise, I would have become a doctor with a stethoscope. I don't know what I would have achieved in my life. What is that I'm trying to say here is one small statement, how it can change our life. Then onwards started, and this activity has started. And most of the Swami Vivekananda teachings and the sayings are not just relevant. There is nothing relevant other than this, where he says, in case, if you would like to call really yourself as educated, so long millions of your brothers and sisters are in hunger and ignorance, so long millions of your brothers and sisters are in hunger and ignorance, I call upon each one of you as a traitor for being educated at the cost of others, paying not the least heed for their development. What a statement. If you read it 3-4 times, if you start meditating on that, it will make you to have a social goal in your life. The first 2 goals I'm not talking at all. The third goal is very, very important. We carry so much of debt. In case each one of you are sitting here, you are sitting at somebody's cost. Somebody is paying for you. When you are being paid a scholarship, someone is paying. It is not just government is paying. For government, the public has paid. So we have grown in our life at the cost of others. And once we have grown, what is our goal or what is our mission? If you ask, I need to get a good marks and get a good job, wife, plenty of the things, and start leading a selfish life. We never have a social concern at all. For them, I ask, if you read this particular statement, what is that? We have a big role to pay back to this society. If you have to look this society, you have to look other end also, my dear friends. Just 4 days back, I was in a place called Dharwad. 3,500 students are attending, and there is no shadow even for them to sit. Okay, the pendalos only around expected strength was around 2,000. 3,500, whole half-day program in the sun. All these 9th standard till 2nd PU, the rural India, people are standing and listening to the lectures of this 150th. And here you see we have everything, and so many chairs are vacant. What is that I'm trying to bring to your idea is, India is not just what we are seeing, it is other, what we can do for them. So there is hunger, there is also an ignorance. So the moment you get educated, you come out, my humble, not request or an advice, I would like to instruct you, if at all you would like to make your life a healthy life, you need to have a social cause, or else it is going to be a great difficult. Once, Swami Vivekananda, when he was in the West, before, this Chicago World Religious Parliament was postponed, and he was in a very old clothes, and one mother took him with her hospitality to the home. After interacting for some time, she found a great intellect in this young boy, a young sannyasi she took, and she calls the tailor and she stitches him a wonderful dress, which you see that Swami Vivekananda, that he has not carried from India, that particular mother gifted. And she says, my child, sometime back you are just looking just like a beggar. Now you are looking like a perfect gentleman. What you and me would have answered for this particular, or how we would have reciprocated. Look, the amount of Swami Vivekananda had, the faith in his country and in his relation. He says, mother, in your country, if a tailor can make someone gentleman, I come from a country where character alone can make them gentlemen. You should see the amount of, the way the kids will applaud for this, we have to ask them to sit. But the idea goes, it is a character alone. So tomorrow you are scientist, tomorrow whatever you are, even you are president of India, anything that is achieved without the character, so what? How many have come, many have. I promise, how many of you can tell from first president to till today, the current president, all the names? Don't worry, I also can't. We remember only those who demonstrated the highest character, and the very education is to bring more and more in this. By studying a little bit of scientific things and all, we are saying whatever is scientific, we will accept it, and whichever is not, it is superstitious. It cannot be. So truth, can you prove it? Scientifically you can't prove it, but everyone can experience it. Purity, can scientifically you prove it? I don't think so, but you can experience it. So that's the reason life is something tangible. All the scientific things are tangible, but there are certain things which are scientific yet, but they are intangible, and for that you need to go with this kind of spiritual leaders at all. My dear friends, today's youths are only looking towards the West. It is not that we need to imbibe the West. That's why Swami Vivekananda has said long back. He said, we want Western science coupled with Vedanta, Brahmacharya as a guiding motto, Shraddha and faith itself. We want Western science coupled with Vedanta, Brahmacharya as a guiding motto, Shraddha and faith in oneself. That's what just now Professor was saying. Just if you make the mission or a slogan for the education for this country, that would have been taken care. Since that has not happened, what is that we are taking today? We are taking only the Western science. We are ignoring our own culture. Brahmacharya has become a topic of laugh, and without that you can never achieve anything. The very pinnacle of the character is nothing but the Brahmacharya. I keep telling the students, you want to rule the world, you need not be the great intellectual, you need not have the great marks, but if you have a Brahmacharya, at least till the completion of your student life, if you practice Brahmacharya, tomorrow we can expect a great Grahasthas. Today, we are preponing everything, and our students are indulging, in the sensual pleasures and all, because the technology, the media is permitting, and parents are also too busy in just making the money. And what a havoc it is happening. A kid of 8th standard, 9th standard, and all these things that you are seeing in the nation, that can never be prevented, my dear friends, just by holding a placard, where is the protection for women and all. Nothing can happen, because it is going to still increase. As Swami Vivekananda says, every human being is a combination of humanity, animality, and divinity. To remain as a human beings, we need to struggle a lot. In case if you know swimming, if you have to be where we are, we need to struggle there to be there. In case if you don't struggle, we are going to sink. So similarly, if you don't struggle with the value system, you can no more remain as a human being. You will sink to animal. And once we become a brute, such incidences are quite normal. They are not abnormal, please understand. And we are a nation where just each one of you clapped, and the Rishi's blood is there in us. Without character, we cannot achieve anything. And if you are a man of character, great things are waiting for each one of you. And in absence of the character, only a mere intellectual, if you think you can grow to the greater heights, I am saying sorry, it not be possible. Your ability may take you to the greater heights. Your ability may take you to the greater heights, but one incident where you are being proven that you are not a man or a lady of a character, from Himalaya, within no time you will come to the bottom. And we have seen so many. Other day, one IAS officer, when he is traveling in a second AC train, just the mother went for the nature call, and by then the mother was back. This IAS officer has misbehaved, and the media and all press. Did the IAS Did he do the IAS for this particular purpose? See, is IAS, but in absence of the character, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So I call upon each one of you, the practice of this brahmacharya from the thought level till the completion of your student life. Then you are matured enough, you have the age, you have the right understanding, and you can do the way you want, and later on you can achieve the greater heights in your life, because in absence of the character, nothing great can happen. I keep asking normally this high school and the degree college students and PU college, I dare to ask, any one of you can just participate. All of you respect your parents? All of you respect your parents? Yeah. Sir, you respect your parents because they pay you a good pocket money and all the comforts that you want, or you respect them because of their character? Because of the character, you respect them. Any other different answers? You respect your parents because of their character or because of the kind of the money and the comforts they provide us? Hello? Good evening. Character. Please participate. I am a trainer. I am not a lecturer. I can't go in one mode. Normally my mode is, give and take, not one-way traffic. Character. My dear friends, tomorrow 90% of you, 99% of you will become parents. Then will your kids respect you in case if you don't have character? It's a thought, food for thought. That's where the discriminative power is very, very important. And through education, Swami Vivekananda says, what's the mission of an education? What's the mission of an education? The mission of an education is nothing but just character. Why character? One who has a character will have a greater amount of responsibility, greater amount of morality, and all that things comes under his purview. He will use it for the good of himself and for the good of the society. And the people who are immoral and the people who are characterless, anything that you give to them, they will use for their selfishness, and also they will use for the destruction of the society. So what is largely required is the character. I hope most of you would have seen when Narendra Modi speaks, okay, when he talks, he says, "Chhati chahiye, chhati." What does that mean? One man, what a difference it could. I'm not talking from a political perspective. What all he could do. So just if you have a social goal in your life, you will grow to the greatest heights. And once you maintain your character by the practice of a brahmacharya, you all will become heroes. My dear friends, heroes is not just what they show in the movies. They're all the wrong things. Who can be? Swami Vivekananda says, be a hero. Always say, I have no fear. But today's people, fear means, I'll just give a small anecdote. One particular town of a country, every year 1 lakh people were dying out of malaria. One day, the human community became furious, and the representative of a human being went to Lord saying that, "Oh Lord, you were never contented till you manufactured human being. So you have created ultimate of your creation, a human being. Now these human beings are dying just like anything by this mosquito bite. You need to stop." Then subsequently, God feels, yes, there is something right, and he assures that, okay, you can go back now. None of you in your town will die out of malaria. Then later on, this mosquito, they will come to know that, all these things has happened. Then the representative of the mosquitoes, they will also go to the God and say, "Oh God, who has created us? It's only you. How you can make us workless? Karma, we are also karma yogi. We need to do our duty. It's unfair." Then God says, "Yeah, you think," and he says, "Okay, instead of 1 lakh people, you should not kill more than 25,000 people." He reduces their target to 25%. So nice had it happened in our corporate life. It happens other way. Just 25,000 people you need to kill. 1 year over, again 1 lakh people have died. And this human representative comes to God in a quarreling attitude. "Oh God, human beings lie. You are also not different. You are also doing the same thing. What happened? Again 1 lakh people have died due to malaria." Then he says, no, after you went, they also came. I need to justify between you and them. And I told that beyond 25,000 people should not die due to malaria. No, 1 lakh people have died. You can call them. You can ask them. Then they will also come. Then the representative of this mosquito representative says, "My Lord, how can I supersede your order? We have killed only 25,000 people. Means out of malaria, only 25,000 people have died. The rest of the 75,000 people have died out of the fear that they also may get attacked malaria." Means fear is so powerful. Okay, it's one of from the management text. Okay, fear is so powerful that 75% of the people die out of the fear. So if at all you need to be fearless, what is that you need? You need to have a strong mind, and the strong mind is nothing but a pure mind, and pure mind comes only from the strong and the great ideas. That's the reason I call upon you. Otherwise, Swami Vivekananda said so much about the divinity of the human being, and somewhere he quotes that anything of a Western origin, test and accept. Anything of an Indian origin, first you accept, then if you find some fault, you can test. But today we are doing other way. When I was training, one of my faculty members of my corporate channels, one of the international bank guys, one particular girl was sitting, and somewhere I brought little bit of philosophy into my training, and this girl started earning some lakhs per month. A girl started in between saying, "Sir, please don't talk about this culture, India, all these things, body language or something like that. I cannot do better than this." Then I had to address that. Otherwise, it's like a cancer. I asked her, "By your name, I learned that you are a Hindu. Is it so?" "Yes, sir, I'm a Hindu." I said, "I'll give a blank check. You can withdraw this if we meet up this commitment." "What's that?" "You can withdraw whatever is my account balance, and you can take the rest of the money in case if you are able." "When is that you are planned to marry?" I said, "Maybe around the next 2 years, sir." Okay. Then I said, "I'll attend your marriage, and on the day of your marriage, I would like to see you on the same dress code that what you are wearing today. Is it possible?" She was on shorts. I asked her, "Will you marry in the same style?" "Nobody will prevent, and I'll give my check." Trust me, she started weeping. "Sir, you touched me." I said, "Foolish lady you are. In your blood, there is a culture. You are all the descendants of Sita. By mistake, nobody has told you, you have taken this particular culture. You can't do. Can you take prasad on the shoes?" I said, "Can you do?" See, there is nobody to watch. You need to understand. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. This is there within us. We need to just manifest it. And greater things will happen. Further, he says, what is civilization? Civilization is nothing but the manifestation of the divinity, which is said in the West. And the same definition he gives for the religion also. Civilization is the manifestation of the divinity. If we are going to manifest the divinity within us, what a nation, what a civilization we can have. And since we are not doing it, so more and more brutes are coming, and everywhere we require police today, because we never are believing in this kind of things. That's the reason, my dear friends, unless men increase in wisdom, just mere increase of knowledge is going to bring more misery to you. Wisdom is required. Viveka, what is right, what is not right, that's very, very important for each one of us. So all of us are trying to take the night culture of the West. If at all you are interested to take the culture of the West, please buy their day culture. Okay, this one particular certification which I said, Limra from a USA, you need to see, unless and until I have delivered to his expectation. Okay, many times 12, 13 hours the trainings have gone. I am delivering to his expectation. They never allowed us. What amount of dedication, the amount of care they have there for the employer, and so cost effective the work, so punctual they are. You buy the culture, which is their day culture, but very unfortunately we are buying their night culture, and where they are coming to try our own culture. That's the reason, my dear friends, unless and until you start leading your life, a most pure and moral life, the strength can never come. And in absence of this moral strength, you can never achieve great things. Then further, Swami Vivekananda says, how long you keep on reading the history? I think sitting people here, after getting knowing as a great intellectuals, you should be in a position to create a history. And what is the definition of a history according to Swami Vivekananda is, the history is nothing but the tremendous life of the people who had faith in themselves. The history is nothing but we study the life of few great men and women who had tremendous faith in himself. So that's the reason he says, he is a definition of a theist, and a theist is also altogether different. He says, one who believes in himself is a theist, one who doesn't believe in himself is a atheist. But we say that one we believe in God is a theist, and one who doesn't believe in a God is an atheist. But according to Swami Vivekananda, he says, in case if you believe in yourself, you are the great theist, not an atheist. That's the reason. It is the culture which will help us to withstand the shocks of the life, not just mere mass of education. So I call upon each one of you to take, other than your syllabus, at least every day and half an hour about other than the syllabus. So you will see there are various dimensions of the life. Money alone is not the thing. My dear friends, if money would have been the goal of the life, why today, whether it's in a Chennai or a Bangalore or Calcutta, so many softwares and other professionals, IT professionals who earn in terms of lakhs, we every day you read so many are suiciding. Then money cannot be the goal of life. If you say the powers, there are many people who are at the highest hierarchy level and they do go for the suicide. That's the reason. What a relevant statement. Perhaps Swamiji visualized a great visionary and made this statement. What pays in the life? It is neither the money, nor the name, nor the fame. It is the character that alone can cleave through the adamantine walls of the difficulties. What a wonderful statement. So each one of us are going to face tremendous problems in our life, my dear friends, including I have faced tremendous problems in our life. But without giving up, if you have to fight with that zeal, you need to have this great character. Without character, you can never achieve great things. Problems are many. They are understandable. But the solution is only one, Swami Vivekananda says. Problems are many. They are understandable. The solution is only one. Man should become a new kind of man. He says to Sister Nivedita, the older I grow, the more everything seems to me to lie in manliness. Manliness is the one solution. So what amount of definition or an expectation how a man needs to be? He says, people asked him, Swamiji, what is your message? What's your message? The answers may be different, but the message was the same. 10 years back, my message is struggle. Today, my message is struggle. 10 years hence, my message is struggle, 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 struggle. What is this struggle? Should we struggle with the weapons? Should we struggle with any other, arms? No, struggle is we have within us, the lower instincts, and within us, we have the divinity. Always there is a fight. My dear friends, if I have to be a girl with a pure perception that she is not like my sister, she is my sister, she is my mother. And if I have to do this, without character, this can never come, and you will never win the people, and which you learn in the life of Swami Vivekananda, looking at his highest intellectual and his caliber and his, virtuous personality and all. A lady comes and she offers himself to him, saying that, Swamiji, I would like to marry you. For what? I would like to have a child like you. See, instantaneously, spurt, it is not even a spot to think, nor there was any training. He says, why you would like to have a child like me? Why not me? Means for him, the perception was everyone is a divine mother. So similarly, unless and until the purity is there within us, we can never achieve anything. No monk we find of this particular cadre which can expect. By the way, I am not calling any one of you to become a monk, and that doesn't happen by just calling. At least each one of us will be an able citizen, and today India, what it is lacking is the self-dignity, my dear friends. Please see, in case even if your dad retires and if he has to go and get his pension from a treasury department, unless and until he bribes, he can't get his pension. For a death certificate, you have to pay money. For a birth certificate, you have to pay money. For everything, you have to. So what has happened? What has happened? Self-dignity. Self-dignity. Why this self-dignity? Because there is no character. When there is no self-dignity, I call them the qualified beggars. And to become qualified beggars, are we taking this particular education? And one thing that you need to do is to have this self-dignity. And lot of time during our study circle in my college days, we all used to say, let's see when it comes to our turn, how you will behave. One instance I will give you. In this corporate world, when I conduct my trainings in 3-star and 5-star properties, the trainings will be normally from 7 to 15 days, depending upon the programs. Each program will be worth of around 15 lakhs. 10 to 15 lakh rupees cost. When I got promoted and I moved to Bangalore in my first elevation, and a vendor, a lot of people, hotel people, there are around 500 hotels in Bangalore, there are a lot of hotels here. So this hotel management people, in order to retain the customers, they came and a couple of them spoke to me saying that, sir, erstwhile person, in your designation, what he was doing and what we were offering, let me tell you, so that we can continue our relationship. It was quite interesting for me to learn. I asked, what is that? Then immediately he said, so whatever programs you conduct, in order to have a service from our end only, we will pay you back 10% of the total expense, total cost of the program, either in the form of money or either in the cash or kind. May we know, sir, what is your mode of transaction? Tell me, 15 lakhs, 10% is 1.5 lakh without working. just for administration. Should I take or not take? Hello, my friends. I'm asking you, huh? Should I accept or not accept? Say either yes or no. No. Thank you. But will you do the same thing? Okay. Time has to come. Time. I have to wait for that time. This is what we used to discuss in our study circle, and I called all my friends and I informed the group which I have. I just told the vendor, I will accept, but that mode of transaction is not in the cash nor in the kind. The third one, what is that? Just by giving a discount to my company. Don't talk about the past people, nor don't try to approach me in this way once again. This is the last warning for you. I gave this to him. And organizations, they are not blind, let me tell you. And they checked, and subsequently the one spot visit happened. Maybe Ramesh is conducting a hotel in a substandard hotel, or with a compromised services, the cost would have come back. And when they came and checked spot inspection, and everything was as or much better. Then they realized, and I said, I don't want to say anything, sir. This was the time for me to test my honesty. And they said like this, and I have asked that to give the discount. And let me tell you, my dear friends, this month, 9 days I am on leave, and no corporate, will allow for any person. I am in a hierarchy at a middle class management. They can never give the leave. But when I opt leave, they know for what particular work I am going. And when you practice truth, a lot of people say this world, this society will not support. They said, Ramesh is an asset for us, and he has proven his honesty, and we are blessed to have a man like him with an integrity. So they have given me the leave. If you say that if this truth and if this integrity is not going to pay, I'm totally going to beg or differ from each one of you. I'm here, and I'm here. I'll get not more than 2 sick leave and 2 casual leave, 4 days. 9 days means rest of the 5 days I'm working at loss of pay, and I'm happy to lose my salary and work for this. Why? Because by the blessings and the inspiration of Swami Vivekananda and various monks of this Ramakrishna mission, I have a social cause. When I address 1,000 students or 500 students, if 5 people can change what I have changed in my life, I think we can certainly have a great nation and a better nation. This nation is already full of cowards, bureaucrats, this whatever, today Anna Hazare is fighting, and crowd is going to add more and more. And if you are not going to build this character, it's very difficult. I'm telling you, in the corporate world, they have recognized and said, my leaves are approved, whatever number of days I'm asking. How is it possible? Means integrity is there. And if you don't accept it today in the corporate world, what is we call as integrity or a compliance is nothing but the morality. My MD sitting in the company need not know physically whether I am there in the office or not. Once upon a time, I had to speak truth. But today, whether I speak truth or not, I am being caught. I am compelled to speak truth. So it is better to speak the truth willingly rather than avoiding any other things. So I request each one of you to take Swami Vivekananda definitions of the education, where he further says, education is not the amount of the information that is put into the brain, which we all do, to score better. Education is not the amount of the information that is put into the brain, which runs rat there undigested throughout the life. Rather, education is training of the mind by which the current and the expressions of the will are brought under the control to bear the fruitful results. We want man-making education. We want character-making education. We want assimilation of ideas, and that is which is missing today. Each one of you should imbibe these side by side apart from the syllabus that you are giving. He says further, if a man of an ideal commits 1,000 mistakes, it is not that I have not committed mistakes. I have committed mistakes. Swami Vivekananda says, I have committed many mistakes. Without mistakes, we will not grow. We are not animals. Human beings, we will commit mistakes. He says, if a man of an ideal commits 1,000 mistakes, a man without ideal will commit 50,000 mistakes. As the degree of the mistakes increases, it becomes crime. And tomorrow somebody may forgive you, even God may forgive you, but the kind of the sins that we are going to do in our life, our nervous system will not. So it is better to have an ideal in our life, my dear friends. Further he says, which I would like to link to Anna Hazare, he says, if you have taken up 5 ideals in your life, made those 5 ideals as your life, lived for those 5 ideals, Swami Vivekananda says, you have more education than a person who has by hearted the entire library. See, one Anna Hazare, what patriotism he could prove. And we carry the debt. Next 15, 20 years, all of you will take these positions. what will be the nation? The nation is nothing but the sum total of the character of the individuals of the nation. So if a family is strong, it is just, you know, the individuals of the family, 5 members of the family, if they are strong, we call family as a strong. If a nation has to be strong, all the Indians, we have to work with the spirit, and then only the nation can be strong. And anywhere, if you slip here, you are going to have a very miserable life. So from this day, I call upon you to have an ideal in your life. One ideal, who can give? Anybody can give. Most importantly, Vivekananda, anywhere you read, it is only the full of ideals. I have heard how many engineers are remembered today, but who can forget Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, the Bharat Ratna awardee? Who can forget him? In his childhood, perhaps nobody has undergone so much of poverty. Monday to Sunday, every day in a different house, he used to have his food. As a child, once he was having the food, and in between there was a hiccup. Water was needed. That particular mother tried to get him a water, so there was no water. She went to the neighbors also, there was no water, full scarcity of the drinking water. And that mother came back, and for Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, as he was a child, she gave a glass of water. Once she gave a glass of water, after his food was over, she will say, my dear child, there is lot of scarcity of the water, and lot of people are suffering. Once you grow, once you become big, can you find some solution? Can you find some solution for this drinking water? And if you read his books, he said, that mother said something that, can I find some solution for the drinking water problem? And you all know the great KRS Dam at Mysore for the Kaveri, and what Sir M. Vishweshwaraya could become. And he says, that mother gave me an ideal. It's very, very important. Similarly, in Arvinda Maharshi life, there is a Pondicherry Ashrama which you have seen. As a young boy, he was so brilliant, so vibrant, and he comes home rushing to show his marks card to mother. Says, Amma, look my marks. And his mother gives him an ideal. She says, Aurobindo, I'm not just interested in your marks, I'm interested in your remarks. What is that second column? Remarks is nothing but the character. He says, then onwards I started focusing on remarks in my life. Marks will come automatically. If you focus only on the marks, trust me, you degrade day by day in remarks. If you focus on the remarks, marks will come ultimately. And you could see, he could grow to such a great saint. So, my dear friends, I call upon each one of you in taking particularly this. One particular quote, you all heard about this great Nobel laureate called as Romarola is a French. His sister was so inspired, and she was reading Swami Vivekananda literature, and it was in English, and this gentleman didn't know English. She translated in French language, and this Romarola, Nobel laureate, got so much inspired, and he learnt later on English only to study Swami Vivekananda. So at least you all know English, so for that sake start reading Swami Vivekananda, not just to skip over the pages, just listen his statement. He says, I cannot touch the sayings of Swami Vivekananda which are spread across the pages of the book at a distance of 30 years. By then already Swamiji has left his body. He says, I cannot touch the sayings of Swami Vivekananda which are spread across the pages of the book at a distance of 30 years, which will not fail to give me a thrill like an electric shock to my body. What would have been the fate of those fortunate few who heard these firing words from the lips of a hero? Then later on he comes to India for the simple reason, which is this great country produced a man like Swami Vivekananda. Just imagine, we are all Indians. He comes here and he says, he meets another competent Nobel laureate called Rabindranath Tagore, and he says, I would like to study this great nation, Bharat. And Sir Rabindranath Tagore says, you can't study India. Why? Because she is as vast as sky, as deep as sea. If at all you would like to study India, you study Swami Vivekananda. Why? Because in him everything is positive, and Swami Vivekananda is condensed India, is being said by Rabindranath Tagore. So my dear friends, tomorrow anywhere you are there, and if you have to speak on the glories of your nation, your competition, your time scarcity doesn't permit you to study India. So if you study Swami Vivekananda, that itself is more than enough. You will be knowing lot of things as far as him is concerned. Then finally, one child who was studying 9th standard, in Cuttack of Orissa, read Swami Vivekananda. He completed that book. Please understand, 9th standard boy completed the text. On completion, he self-declares that I am going to give whole of my life for the upliftment of the nation. And later on, he is none other than Subhash Chandra Bose. You should. When Swami Vivekananda didn't had any credentials to talk in the World Religious Parliament without credentials, I request each one of you, if you have not seen a 3D movie of Swami Vivekananda in Vivekananda Illam, something like that, yeah, opposite to Marina Beach. I'm grateful to Swamiji. I said, Swamiji, I've seen that. Swamiji forced me to go for that. It's such a wonderful 3D movie at free of cost. Apart from the entrance charge, you would have seen Life of Pi by paying in multiplex thousands of rupees. Please go and watch that. It is for 10 minutes. He didn't had credentials. And that particular platform was for the West. And Professor John Henry Wright from Howard University, comes in touch with Swami Vivekananda, and finding his great intellectual skills, ability and all those things, he becomes his friend. Then Swamiji asks, Professor John Henry Wright, he asks, can you give me a credential letter? Then look this statement, my dear friends. We nothing to blame West people, how best they are also sometimes. John Henry Wright says, Swamiji, to ask you credential is just asking the sun to show his rights to shine. He writes, here is a monk from India who is more learned than all the learned professors of America put together. It's not just an ordinary statement, That's the reason. And, Leo Tolstoy, a great historian, he says, the lofty and the clear conceptions on the principles of the life is the biggest message of Swami Vivekananda. What you and me are missing is we have such a narrow goals, but he says the lofty and clear conceptions on the principles of life is the greatest message of Swami Vivekananda. I am reading him for last 15, 20 years, my dear friends. I am trying to do some external qualifications, but when I hold the other books for my academics, I feel that, should I read this? What it will give me? Another 10 rupees income, or maybe another degree to me. So anyhow, I am half the way. So again I drop it, and again I start doing it. Only when my company brings some compulsion that I have to read, otherwise, I lose my existing position, then I am forced to lead. So Swami Vivekananda is, just like that. In your academics, just mix him like a honey. In your academics is very, very important. Along with that, just a spoon of a honey, just, it is tasty, it is healthier, and you become a great asset to the nation. You will become, my words, please take, an ordinary man. I'm not an IIT guy. I'm just from an ordinary unbranded institute today traveling to the branded institutes. Why? Because I've studied Swami Vivekananda, and you people from a branded institutes, if you study, what will happen? Your acceptance will be better than what I am. So that's the reason I take upon this. Then last but not the least, I want you to repeat these 3 words. These 3 things you need to carry with each one of you at every walk of your life. Once I say, please repeat it. Truth, purity, unselfishness. If you would like to become a real hero, hero is only for the gender purpose. By the way, female gender should not take it in another way. Just we are using it only for the gender convenience. Each one of you are a hero. Truth, purity, unselfishness. Swami Vivekananda says, an individual equipped with these 3, there is no power above or below the sun to crush the possessor thereof. One individual equipped with these can face the whole world in opposition. My dear friends, just practice these 3 things, and just to see how you will be received in this society, in this world. And before I close, as far as time factor is concerned, I would like to give a small story. 3 Pandits were traveling from one side of the bank of river Ganges to other side. 3 Pandits. Pandits means they'll never keep quiet. Okay. I know something, they need to share something to prove that, I'm a master. So all these, out of these 3 Pandits, the first Pandit will start his batting. He'll ask the boatman, hey boatman, we have so many Vedas. Have you studied any of the Vedas? Boatman says, no sir, I have not gone to school. I don't know this. Your 25% of your life is waste. So he felt a little nervous. The second Pandit will not keep quiet. He'll ask, have you studied? We have so many Shastras. Have you studied some Shastras? He says, no sir, they're all in Sanskrit. I have not studied. Your life is wasted by another 25%. What is the total? 50%. Third Pandit will ask, at least we have 2 great epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, at least have you studied that? Then the Pandit says, the boatman says, no sir, I have not studied Ramayana, Mahabharata. Then your life is wasted by another 25%. What's the total? 75%. This Ganges, the beauty is she gushes into the Bay of Bengal and sometimes, backwater. At that time, the Ganges gets swollen and there are tides, and this is a small, a rural boat, and it started tilting, and this boatman stood, and dhoti is all packing up, tightening it, and everything he started, Then he asked his question, Panditji, do you know swimming? Then Panditji became wild. Nonsense. It is, since we are asking question, how dare you ask us the question? No, Panditji, don't mistake. Now there are tides. Okay, there is a high possibility of this boat may go reverse, and I am going to dive, swim, and reach the side, the bank. So that's the reason I am asking, do you know the swimming? Then Panditji says, no, we don't know swimming. We never felt the essence of learning the swimming. All of our life, we involved ourselves in studying Vedas, Shastras, Puranas, okay, all these things. We never found the importance of this swimming. Then boatman says, then Panditji, your life now is 100% waste. Sri Ramakrishna gives the story communicating a wonderful message of that. Now I am asking the same question to each one of you. How many of you know swimming? Please raise your hand. Oh, quite good number. In IIT, swimming pool? Yeah. My dear friends, the question I am asked is, what you said is, I am not talking the swimming in a river or in a sea or in a well or in a tub. I am not talking that. This swimming is, are you in a position to face all the challenges of the life, whatever ups and downs, yet retain your virtues, your principles, and still swim across the tides? Are you in a position? The swimming is, what I am talking is, lot of ups and downs. There is a long life ahead of us, at least till 60, 70, whatever. In order to have this marathon race, have you strengthened yourself? So in order, if you have to learn more and more swimming, please come and enroll in more and more number to Swami Vivekananda study circle. Attend, the theater should be full, okay, and you have to discuss, and the study circle should go on, and by doing and in presence of Revered Swamiji and his guidance, you will become a better swimmer, and come whatever may be in the life, you should be able to swim it across like a lion. And that is possible only if you enroll yourself at study circle of Vivekananda, which is more relevant today for us. Why? Because that great Mahatma only said, whatever teachings I have given, this is going to work for next 1,500 years, and just we are at 150th year. So that's the reason it's not my humble request, it's instruction for each one of you. My dear friends, don't think that understanding Swami Vivekananda is our job or is our responsibility. No. All of us will have night food, your dinner you will have. You have the food, is this because of your job, or is it your necessity? So studying Swami Vivekananda is your necessity. You can look one man like me, and you can look hundreds of people like me, and you will become 1,000 times better than us. And Swami Vivekananda himself will say, my children should become 1,000 times greater than what I am. And what just 3 things are required is develop the character, practice brahmacharya till the end of your life, revere the opposite gender people. These are the league points where all your concentration goes, and you will not be able to do great scientific things. The moment concentration enhances, you can do wonderful things throughout your life. And our dharma provides a legitimate experiencing of the joys of the life. You get married, and you can be a great grahastha, your children will come, and we have to retain the glory of this great country. And retaining the glory of the country is man becoming a new kind of man, and a man of virtues and a man of character. I take this wonderful opportunity to thank Revered Swami Atmasthananji, and also Vivekananda Study Circle friends, and most importantly Vivek. Last 1.5 months, where is Vivek? I had not seen him. He is involved with me, taking perfect care. I am sure you will drop me till railway station. In advance I have complimented. That's the last part. And my humble request to each one of you, my dear friends, do something to your motherland, and thereby you will do to your mother, and be a pride child of this great nation. Thank you one and all. Jai Ramakrishna.
Thank you, sir, very much. I sip out a line from your whole talk, just for my satisfaction. You have said India has enough of cowards. Now she needs the lines of character. And I promise VSC will lead here. Thank you very much. Now, I think Sri Rameshji will be happy to take your questions and answers or any comments. And in parallel, we are distributing some feedback forms. So we'll be happy to hear from you. Questions and answers.
If anybody has any question, they can ask directly. You can ask that. One question I have, I'll start with myself.
Can you help me? I have problems. I need to
So you have been involved with corporate training and corporate. You are in the corporate world for some time. So many of my friends are also there in the same means kind of software field and corporate field. And as you mentioned in your lecture itself, that you generally have to stay from say morning 9 to night 9. Now the corporate training itself or corporate world is itself like this, that it sucks out most of your time from your day. And within the inside the when you are in the office also, they don't recognize the other things, the say spiritual aspect of the life or character building, character as an important part of life. Those are not recognized in the formal system in IIT, although, and it's much more.
I'm losing the grip of your question.
Yes, yes. So what I'm telling is, don't you think so? And then what do you think that? Do you think that people who are in the corporate world, how can they manage themselves or can study, say, Swami Vivekananda, when they don't have time?
Okay. I happened to meet a CEO of a hotel management, and she had a lot of problem in managing the employees. Attrition is the biggest problem to any industry that you see today. Actually speaking, the salary is being paid not for being 8 hours there. Rather, it is being paid to accomplish the assignment in 8 hours. It all depends on your efficiency, how you are going to accomplish it. Trust me, in my office, that's what perhaps everything I attribute to Swamiji. What I am doing the work, the same work is being doing by the rest of the people. Okay? I am able to accomplish it, I am able to do it. It's possible only where you have an adequate concentration what you are supposed to do, and the people above you they are less competent than you in case if you have studied Swami Vivekananda. Let me tell you very clearly which I have experienced. And for me, if I am more competent than from the rest of my colleagues, I will accomplish fast. And in case if I am not, I am one amongst the sheeps. That's what Swami Vivekananda's story you would all have heard, lamb and lion. So just by reading Swami Vivekananda, you will be able to do, if you are a non-VC member, Vivekananda Service Circle member, if you take 10 hours to do, I think perhaps I will take 2.5 hours to do it. That's the strength. Why? Because there is no wastage of mental strength, and it is which will make you to become, and you will be able to prioritize the things, and you will be able to do everything. So that is for the rest of the world, but not for the people who have studied Swami Vivekananda is my answer, and which you will experience in your life.
Came from very difficult situations. Today I am here because of Vivekananda only. I think no one has faced the difficulties what I have faced. I think so.
It thrills me when somebody says, whatever I am because of Swami Vivekananda studies. That's the reason. Huh?
I am an MS scholar here. The thing is that I came up with difficulties because of Vivekananda's spiritual books and other things only. But though I came to this position, in some situations, I couldn't get the positive energy. The negative thoughts as forcing me and revibrating me. How to tackle those situations?
Yeah, beautifully. Straight one-line answer what Swami Vivekananda says. If at all we have to overcome weakness, we have to just think of the strength. Brooding over the weakness is not the solution. It is only thinking of the strength where you can conquer the weakness. And every one of us have this. That's what I said, struggle. Struggle is not. If the victory first happens here, if the victory happens first here, and if this victory, the external victory is only, secondary. So you decide, whatever you have succeeded, still read Swamiji. Read Swamiji's life. And at every moment you'll get, Atma Vishwasa. Atma Vishwas, the biggest strength is, Arey, my dear friends, wherever you have succeeded in your life, you should see, is not God's help infinitely greater than anybody's? Swami Vivekananda himself says when the whole people opposed him, it is not Swami Vivekananda has not faced opposition. If you read him, lot of torture is being given to him. He says, is not God's help infinitely greater than anybody's help? And my Guru is there. So have same kind of feeling, and he is working in the form of spirit. He is not there physically, but he is there in the form of the spirit. You will succeed. You are young as of now. You still read him, manifest, it will come and you will conquer.
Hello, sir. Could you suggest some books on character, best books that we can write?
No, I wanted to show them in case. Vivek, just please get those books. Those 3 titles. By the time I'll show you, I would like to share something. Whenever I used to come from different places to my home, my wife first will check my bag. Not for something, if someone is thinking, just to see again how many books he has brought. All cupboards books, all space books. Anywhere I touch your books, what should I do? Today, my bank balance is certainly lesser than the amount of money that I have, please mind my word, the amount of money that I have invested. It's not spent. The amount of money that I have invested in Swamiji books. And they're so economical, affordable. I don't use the word, by mistake, don't use the word cheap. They are not actually so. Some great man, once you grow in the life, you donate a lot of money to ashrama and they will make them the subsidized price. Today we give the kids 3 rupees and all, which is lesser than a greeting card price. So similarly, it is an investment. 2 things. My dear friends, tomorrow when you go into the employment, where do you invest money? Where do you invest money? Where you get more returns, correct? Where you get more returns. Whether you invest it in real estate, gold, whatever it is. But my next question is, why you don't invest in yourself? Why do you, even Swami Vivekananda has given this management, then 25% of the money where he should spend, how much should go to charity, how much should go to the savings. Swami Vivekananda said then. So what is that I'm saying? Why you don't invest in yourself? Because you don't believe in yourself. The more you believe, you can do. 3 books which I would like to suggest is, one, Swami came from a victorious West. This is the book. I think, it gives you thrill, whatever you read and you understand this country. Lectures from Colombo to Almora. Read it as if you are going to do a PhD on this, and trust me, you will be next day a different individual. You start loving yourself, you'll start loving your family members, and you will start loving a whole nation and the world as your family. He himself says, whosoever reads this, they will get directly my inspiration. Please write your name and keep it. Don't give it to others, because if you give, inspiration will go to them, not to you. Please, letters of Swami Vivekananda and lot of Madras people in this, like Parimal Al Singh, you have to see, what all great things they have done and how they have been transformed. This is another book which you need to carry. And, the life of Swami Vivekananda, and lot of other books are there. But primarily, one more book is there, that title is not there. Later on you can go and buy in ashrama. My India, the India Eternal. That's what Subhash Chandra Bose became. Or what a book it is, You read every statement you read. For example, he says, if you have a clouded face, do not walk out that day. Close all the doors and windows and shut yourself within. What rights you have to spread this disease? When I read this, I started having a smile on my face. You should mean it also. What says Swami says? What rights you have to carry this clouded face into the society? Then the meaning of that is have a smile on your face. So please just don't go on reading it. Try to understand. Last 20 years I am reading. I think I have not even crossed a single digit in understanding. He is like an ocean. But day by day you will become better. These are the 3 books, and any book you can read, sir. Any more question? Lot of audios are there today. Technology has come, in the MP3 form and all. Then it was not there. You can hear lot of lectures which are available also.
Any more questions?
Close down the question answer session.
Okay.
Last question.
Sir, I want to ask one question, sir. It's been many days I'm struggling with this question. It's an analogy that forest, hello, in a forest, the animal having a highest loyalty is the king. Like lion having a highest loyalty is the king. When it comes to beings who is having the highest loyalty is not the king. Like what we see, he's been targeted, he's been attacked, he's been assassinated. So like at the highest state of loyalty, truth, purity makes him to be targeted, or being at the soul of like what would I say, like it unfortunately it's become a truth as we see in our social society. So I want sir to address this question.
Very recently, I was doing a program in one of the most spoiled educational institute in Bangalore. I'll not name it because they may not call me again. I'm interested in the youths of that institute. 300 students were there. My question was, how many of you believe that if you lead a truthful life, you will be successful? Simple question. Only 2 guys raised the hand. The rest 298 believe that they have to chop somebody's head and survive. But it is, youths are confused. I empathize with them. Especially today's youths are highly, because parents are not able to understand them, teachers are not able to understand them, there is nobody to guide them, and all of a sudden you give Swami Vivekananda, sometimes it may be too high to them. That's the reason I'm more interested in this 10th standard in PUC. Can you believe other day in a program called as Shimoga we are doing, not a single teaching faculty is there, and the students are, first time in my 15 years I'm seeing whistling when me and Swamiji are walking to the platform, and it was, they are whistling. And it is intolerable to me, and Swamiji starts Onkara and all, still they are doing, and there are no teachers. Are these the teachers? We want teachers to be there first half an hour rest all, we will make them as the best friends. We don't require these spoiled brains at all, nor the parents. But later on, after 10 minutes, when I started talking, all of them stood and, they begged sorry to Swamiji. Why? Because they said, sir, nobody taught us all these things. So I have a sympathy and empathy for them. Then my next question to that students, out of 300, 2 raised the hand, 298. Then rest of the 298, do you believe that by cheating, we will become successful? Then if that is the case, please show one example. No answer. Means they are on the crossroads. They are on the crossroads. So similarly, my dear friends, path of truth is difficult. That's the reason this practice of all these virtues are very, very important. And once you grow, see, for example, a rocket, till it goes beyond the gravity, tremendous amount of energy is there. But once it enters into the space, no energy is being required. So this struggle is initially. Sri Ramakrishna says, a particular boatman, when he's, what is that, Swamiji, we say? When he's rowing against the tides, pratikula parasthiti, he's rowing against the tides, he has to struggle. After some time, then the wind starts blowing, passively. What he'll do at that time, instead of rowing, he'll keep, Sri Ramakrishna says, that particular man will keep on having a smoke and enjoying. So similarly, all this struggle will till certain stage. So every day, for example, if there is an ink bottle, which is being a dry ink bottle, I'll give Ganges, and I'll ask you to make me to see a transparent Ganges. It will not happen, because you have to clean it. So every day in our worldly life, every day associated with all this media and 101 corrupt things, our personalities have become dirt. We need to clean this dirt, and this cleaning this dirt is sitting for a meditation, prayers, and understanding all these great thoughts, noble thoughts, feeling that I'm an Atman, I'm being, Swami Vivekananda says, each one of you are being born to do great things. You remember this word. Be of a good cheer, and you are being born to do great things. My dear, especially, a female gender, I say, you are not being born to just entertain someone in this life. You have been born for some higher purposes in the life. That's the reason today's youths, before constructing their life, they want to have a life partner, boyfriend, girlfriend. You are ruining your life there itself, because during the construction period, student life has to be taken as a tapasya, austerity. Here itself, if you ignore, that's the reason I said, till the completion of your student life. That's the reason today you are seeing more and more divorces, more and more family breakdowns. Why? Because this chastity, this purity is being ignored. And if the same thing continues, as a India, as a race, we will be in a very pathetic condition. So please believe that you are being born to do great things, and you will do. And for this, all the Rishis' blessings will be there, and all the God's blessing is there. The struggle is there. Struggle is there, but it's only for a short while. Thank you.